Hello. So, I've got an issue I just wanted to hop on and look at quick on the stream. So, I think I linked it here. Yeah. So, this is on the PSIISHelper. It looks like on the get IIS binding, when you specify a remote computer, we get an error saying it cannot convert the value to a system string. I actually think I have a screenshot of this. Let me just grab a screenshot of... Not that. Just of the error. There we go. So the error is actually coming from isLocal. isLocal is my sort of nested function that's going to take care of checking to see if a computer name is local or not, if it's the local machine, because there's several ways, you know, localhost or a period or this. Well, I don't... okay. In the example that I gave, which I'm not sharing the computer name, obviously, the computer name is a legit remote computer, but it has periods in it. So this logic for comparing is not correct. This isn't good enough. So we're going to have to probably loop through these. Let's say... for each object, interesting. This would return true. Okay, I'm here. Yeah, so I noticed, I was just explaining, I attached the error to this. Obviously, I left out the computer name, but the computer name that you provided actually had periods in it, and I think that's the problem. Is I was just calling the contains method, and so if it contains a period, it's obviously a local whatever, which is not true. So I have to match that they're exactly equal. It has to be exactly just a period, or it's not local, right? Because you have a legit computer name here. So I don't think this is correct anymore. So we're gonna loop through. I've never used this equals method, but this is what was suggested. So let's try this. I want to say... Yeah. Okay. Let's try defining this. Okay, cool. And then let's do... Wait. Test computer.com. Oh, what the heck is this? All right, let's just get rid of that. Oh, it has to be exact. So this equals is obviously case sensitive. I don't like that. Let's try this. That's true. Lowercase is fine. Okay, nothing comes back. I actually want false to come back. So let's do this. No, I don't want return. I think right output. Right output would be true. Otherwise, well, this would return false every time. Let's do that. So if this isn't met, then this is just empty. And then I want to return the Boolean version of that. Down here, it's not returning anything. But if I either capture nothing or capture true, this Boolean conversion will handle returning a true or false with this more accurate comparison, I think. Oops. So that's not local. That's not local. Cool. I think this is going to be the fix you're looking for, Noel. Yeah. I could write a bunch of tests for this, since that was pretty quick. So let's come into tests, and here's how I handle so I've got two tests here. Well, two test files. This one tests the manifest, make sure that my manifest has functions, it's got a version number, blah, blah, blah. And then this tests public and private functions generically. I think I actually have these named something else in other repos. Let me look quick. Sorry, hang on. I think in Admin Toolkit I've done this. Tests. Yeah, I guess I pulled this out. That's interesting. Huh. I am going to copy this. Well, hang on. What did I call that? I've done this already. I can't remember. Public functions universal. Tests PS1. And I think public functions, and I leave the alias garbage. Whoa. Okay, so I'll explain what I'm doing here in a sec. So I've written this in a way... Yeah, this is pretty disgusting. So this has to reach all the way back out a few folders to test the modules. So I need these nested split paths, which is kind of gross. Because I want this to work in Linux and I don't want to do the ... wrong. So I'm going to change this. Okay, this is just testing public functions. This is something I had to do for Admin Toolkit because in Admin Toolkit, I wrote these functions that I wanted them to work on Windows, but I don't want them to even be available or tested on Linux because those commands exist in Linux. So this excludes them from my tests if I'm testing on Windows. Or if I'm testing on Windows, then I'm not excluding anything. I'm going to test SU and grep. But otherwise, anywhere else, don't test SU and grep because those commands exist. So that's this, which currently doesn't... I don't have any OS specific functions here. Most of this is going to be Windows anyway, but I'm just going to, I'll just get rid of it. I actually don't need it. So public functions, I don't need this filter anymore. Okay, and so then this loops through each public function, which is the base name of the file. So it's really relying on how these are named. They have to be correct. And grabbing all the parameters that are not optional parameters. I've got this logic here, basically. Oh, I deleted it already. Let me put it back. Import, should register, blah, blah, blah. Should have a parameter for each. And then I test for that. But this is a more... This is interesting because in this method, it's a separate test that tests each parameter. In my testing before, in the other way of structured testing, Admin Toolkit is my latest and greatest. I've spent the most amount of time on this. I must have cloned PSIISHelper from Helpdesk, which hasn't gotten this new testing format. This is all Pester 5 plus compliant. So you can create these context blocks and it will create a loop of contexts based on an array that you give it. So so I can even do that with describe blocks as well. So here's what I'm doing. Grab all my public functions. All my public functions. And then for each one of those, I'm going to run this entire describe block on each one of those functions. So, well, I'm technically looping through the actual file object. So, yeah. Hang on. I'm going to continue this. Give me just one sec. I'm going to be Okay, I'm here. So I'm looping through every file. So I've got all the base name, full name, all the attributes available to me in a loop. And then I actually create, this is like a nested loop of tests. I'm going to create a context block that's going to loop through every parameter individually. And then I get a single test as far as Pester is concerned for each parameter. So if I've got a function that's got 12 parameters on it, that counts as 12 tests in Pester land, which, I don't know, having 1,000 automated tests is cooler than 400. I'm technically testing for the same thing, but with these all broken out, I don't know, it gives me a better... Before it would just, oh, the parameters test, it would just pass. But now I see each individual parameter test passing. Anyway, so that's that. These are all ran once. Get command, help block, stuff. It's all the same tests. Valid, PowerShell code, blah, blah, blah. So that's here. These module tests I don't need. These are private tests. Begin and end, advanced function. Yeah. I actually think I... No, I need a new folder here. Private parameters. Yeah. Okay, I need to do this in module scope. And I think that's all. Everything else needs to be nested. So what this means, so my private functions, they're not exported with the module. They're not available to the user. But if I wrap these tests inside of in-module scope, that means as far as, so for example, if I look at, well, the command we were looking at, get is binding. Or is it pool? Something that uses is local. This function is able to call is local, but the human isn't, because this function exists in the scope of the module. And so it has access to all of the functions, and then we decide which ones get exported to the user. So, same logic. I want to test a function that's only available within the scope of the module. So if I do this, then these tests run as in the module scope and not from the user scope. So, I might as well force myself to have documentation on my private functions. I didn't used to because they're not available to the user. A user is never going to type get help, blah, blah, blah. But for open source, for people supporting this, they're going to want to know how to use is local. If they're going to write a command, they want to see some examples. So it's probably best practice to do that. So a lot of this is going to fail. Yeah, see, here's what I mean. At the beginning, running manifest tests, running the module tests. So this is just making sure each purple line is a new file. So these are all the tests that live in that file. These are the tests that live in the high-level module tests. And then this is the public universal tests. These are tests that will hit every single public function. And notice I get a separate test for each parameter individually. This one has 3, so it's a separate test. I can prove or log that I, in fact, did test that parameter specifically. But before, it would just say, you know, oh, each thing should have a help parameter defined. Done. 1 test. But now I see all 4, and they were actually tested. So that's good. But it did not get my private functions. So I must have something wrong here. Functions private. Maybe the whole thing needs to be in. I'm honestly not too sure how the discovery phase works, so this is just a guess. Yay, errors. Okay, module. Okay, so it's failing here. I think I can get rid of this. Two failed, and I think they're my private function documentation. So it should have help for computer name. It should have an example. So, all right. I think we have fixed is local. Now I'm just improving the testing format. So I've got universal tests now for public functions, for private functions. I still want to keep these separate, although they're for the most part the same test. I want to be able to exclude, like for admin toolkit, I'm excluding SU and grep for my public functions test. I don't need to do that for the private ones. It doesn't make sense. So I'll just keep these separate. And then, so what we're going to do is I wanted to make a new file just for the isLocal tests just for isLocal. So this is, yeah, this is still going to have to be in module scope. What is going on here? Yeah, I want a fresh import. I don't care about. And I can get rid of all this loop stuff because, well, how did I do it? I have some admin toolkit tests. Wow, get out of here. Universal tests. I thought I had some tests for functions specifically. Let me look at something. great. I have to, hang on, got an MFA, blah, blah, blah. I'm not typing this right. Well, okay. Let's look here. Sorry, one sec, folks. Yeah, same thing. I've got in module scope. And then this is just a static. For is local. And I still have, no. I do not have any before discovery or before all. Okay, I just have context, valid values that return true. And then there's a way to, I want to list a bunch of test cases. Yeah, so it, for non-local computer names. And so what this is doing is I'm writing tests specifically on the functionality of isLocal. And let's say I give it a bunch of values. I would have caught this if I wrote tests like what you gave me. So now, Noel, I'm going to include all different shapes and sizes of computer names to test. And my tests, they should all come back true because none of them are localhost, a single period, or the local machine, or variations of uppercase, lowercase, whatever. All those should come back a certain way. And then in the future, if I ever play with isLocal, the function, and my tests break, that means whatever the logic I just changed is no longer in bounds. So this is something I should have, each function should have all these tests like this. It just takes a lot of time. But now we found this bug. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because this is a pretty simple function. We should never have to play with this much beyond what we've already done. But let's say I added a value. Like right now, it only has localhost dot or this. But let's say we added, I don't know what else could mean localhost. Maybe the word host or something. And adding that, for some reason, one of my tests failed. So something is off and I need to figure it out. It's called test-driven development. You really should write the test first for what you want. And then you write your function so that it passes the tests. I would like to do that in a perfect world, but it just takes so much time. Okay. And then, so in this context, we're going to give it test cases. It's an array. An array of hash tables. And the hash tables are like splatting. I'm going to give it parameters and things. And I think the only parameter for this is, computer name. So computer name equals. So I'm writing things that should come back as true. Not localhost. I'm going to make a bunch of these because fill in the blank. I should have a lot of tests for a lot of stuff. I have a two periods. Oops. Wow. The text of the variable, you know, because who cares, right? That's probably good enough. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so all of those should come back as true. None of them are just localhost or just a period or whatever. And how do we do this? And then we have a script block with a param block for what we're giving it. So this is going to be a string for computer name. And then I should say should be true. Let's delete all of this and run this test. So I don't need all of this before discovery, because each one of these blocks has a discovery. One of these has a before discovery. So before it runs any tests, it's going to run this. Unfortunately, it runs this like 5 times, removes a module, re-imports the module. But I have this in each so that I can run these tests on this file individually. So let me save this. I want to say tests functions private is local tests. Ooh. Oh, this is exactly backwards. It's not local, so it should be false. There we go. Okay. Expected. Oh, I changed the wording, but I didn't actually change the condition. There. So that's our test. So for however many of these there are, 8 or 10 or whatever, I've got 10 cases of not local formatted names, and my logic correctly deems these as not local. But now I obviously want to test, have a context block just for, I'm just going to copy this. Should return true for local computer names. And there's only 3. I actually need double quotes on this one. Here we go. So now if I were to play with this, like let's say I don't know, changed my condition now to this. I wrote some code that changed the, you know, the functionality of what's going on. I can rerun this. What's going on? That should fail. That should have failed. I don't need this open. Did I save the file? What's going on? Why is dot? I'm expecting this one to fail. Because I'm testing for a period, but it sees these, it sees this as equal to that. I don't know. Let me put this back to a single period. Change this to a dot dot. Now they should both fail. That's weird. So, okay, it can't have more periods than what's in the file, which is odd. I might write a special test for that. That's weird. Oh well. Let's say for some reason I changed this value on accident. Yeah, it's like it's matching this bare minimum, even though I'm adding extra stuff to it. Anyway, well, these are good enough. Now if I run all my tests, first it does the discovery of everything. And so we can see here, that's weird. It's got several discoveries. 10 tests in that file, 10 tests in that file. Oh wait, I scrolled too far. Whoops. No, this is correct. Never mind. So it goes through the discovery phase and discovers, based on this path, it goes and finds every test, compiles them, figures out how many tests are inside. It even evaluates my loops in the universal ones for how many functions I have. It figures out how many total tests it's working with. And then it goes through and does the testing. So let's go ahead and fix these. So isLocal needs some documentation. Just to see if the... I don't want that all caps. Got to get this in here. Okay, save. So 2 tests failed. Now all my tests pass, which is great. Going forward, I should write more tests for stuff like this. But this is good. For now. Wait, let me look at... Files, changelog. I don't have any aliases. Okay. So this passes because I don't have any aliases. But I need to change my alias logic. Apparently, you can specify the alias to the function itself inside the function, but I would I'd have a special file inside of functions aliases, and so this output my aliases, but I can do this inside the function itself. So I wrote tests around having this file here, but that's no longer the case. Okay, let's commit these. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to leave this for now, but I know I need to get rid of it. Yeah. Looks good. So again, I've got universal private functions, and then I've got this file is literally just for my one function. Inside of public, I should have tests just, for each one individually. I just don't have that coverage right now. And that helps keep from having these giant test files, which is the whole point of even my module structure is even the functions themselves are split up, so I know where to look for things. So, okay, I'm going to commit all this directly to main because that's what a professional does. Yeah, okay, I'm version 5. What is this? I want a bug fix. What is this, number 2? What's the issue number? Number 2. Wait. Fixed. Fixed function returning true when a computer name contained a period. Cool. Why not? Let's publish a new version. Right to main. Again, that gets pushed up to GitHub. Any push to main is going to do the full pipeline. It's just all wrapped in one instead of the other branches pull requests or pushes elsewhere have the source code tests and the build and post build tests sort of pulled out, but anything pushed to main is going to do the full deal. Ooh. GitHub is handling the discovery differently than my local is handling the discovery. Don't I say what this requires? Ruh-roh. Okay, what else failed though? Nothing. This says it found 126. 5.3.1. Ooh. Still works. Why does GitHub not like this? Let's do this. I'm running the same script. GitHub is calling build source code tests. Start pre-build tests. That's post builds, that's build. Here's the pre-build. Yeah. My root tests, build the configuration. This is weird ad. What in the world? Parent. Yeah, here. So it doesn't, it should clean up this test result file afterwards, but it's not. Anyway, so many rabbit holes. So I got to figure out why these tests are not passing anywhere. Let's look at Windows. It's not recognized. I wonder if I don't need this, because that kind of already happens. Removing Whoa. So this is the full pipeline, but it's going to apparently fail. We'll see. Yep, there's the failures. What is going on? I'm not sure. Yeah, but even so, that's what this is doing is I'm making sure that I import the module. Oh, wait. Maybe this should be before this. Import the module and then inside the module scope do this. Sure. Sorry. Okay. Same thing. This is so weird to me. Because public functions, universal. Private functions. Well, I guess it's not in module scope. I wonder if that doesn't... This should be compatible with... Current behavior in module scope. In module scope runs during discovery. I'm not doing before all in these tests, though. Let's look at the docs. Maybe I'm using this too far out. Result in module scope, and then that result. Let's see if this does it, locally at least. Oh, I've got to name the scope. I still failed. Expected true, but got null. Okay, that did not work. I'm putting this back because the original error at least told me what the real error was. Well, I might have to play with module scope. This has never been an issue before. He's saying he dot sources the file itself. I mean, that would work. That would work. Just seems ugly because I'm not using the features of Pester. So they're saying here before all, I want to say yeah, that would work. And since I'm not using Windows PowerShell, so I can do this. Functions private is local. That would load the function. Seems gross to me. This shouldn't be this hard. Okay. Do you guys see this? We all have our eyeballs on this, right? In module scope. Apparently this works. I don't know what's... I mean, this works for me. What did I change? Oh, I got rid of the comments. I'm done with it. Come on. I don't know what to do. Why is GitHub treating this differently? It's the same version of Pester. What else is different? I don't know. Is local tests. I hate this blindly commenting or committing without knowing. In module scope, I mean, technically, these aren't actually... I technically don't know that this works. Do I? No, I should, because I can get command on the function name. Yeah, that should totally work. Let me look at that. Oh. Where am I? That was weird. Okay. So... public functions, private functions should register with get command. This is something that should fail if in module scope wasn't working properly, because it's the same thing. It wouldn't, there would be no. Okay, that's because I defined it earlier. I'd get this. That's exactly what I'm getting. Ooh, there we go. Okay. All right. Oh, it is. It's because I did define it manually myself. That's why it always worked and why GitHub's yelling. Okay, so now I can test this locally to see when I'm fixing it. I guess I put this in before describe. That's already done. I don't know why this is in here. Nope. Private functions. What is that for each? Oh, I am dot sourcing now. Then what is in module scope for? I'm in my other tests, I am dot sourcing to get the function. What is the point of that? Don't I get that when I import? It dot sources everything? It must have made sense when I did it. Is that before all or before each? Yeah, before all. I'll just copy this. This is stupid. That is stupid to me. Unless I just do not understand what this is. Yeah, this is not operating the same way that I expect it, but I mean, at least I'm still testing the functionality of this function. But Pester is not behaving the way that I expect it to. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. No big deal. Interesting. Interesting. Why would GitHub do that? So one of the tests is to call the automatic variable the environment variable, I should say, computer name. It doesn't exist on Linux and Mac. That's what's failing. Is this third test, which is this one. So this is coming back false when ran on Linux and Mac. Ugh, that's stupid. I'll have to test this some other way. So, okay. Another quirk. So this is not going to publish until I get this fixed because the Windows tests are passing, but my action that runs the publish pipeline, which is the full thing, this is being called on Ubuntu. I could change this to Windows. Why? Or I just leave it. I have to fix this for Ubuntu, or it won't get fixed. So I should probably end this now. Get back to work. Or, gosh, for now, I might just remove this test. Just to get this out the door. But why? I don't understand. Don't get it. I'll just remove the test for now, just to get a published update out. Nothing to do with the module itself. It's just Linux and Mac Pester testing. You could argue, why do you want to test this on Linux when it's really just a Windows only module, right? It's IIS. But to that I say, because. Pass on Linux. Okay, so this will publish. Stupid. We'll fix it some other time. Okay. Built, tested, published. Yay. Right? Isn't that out there? Yeah, my badge just hasn't updated yet. Here. Right, Noel. You got your fix. Let me look back at this history. Wait, what copied? That's not what I want. I want to link this change. Well, I guess it's this commit in the issue. Close issue. Cool. Done. Yay. I've got a lot to learn with Pester. Like I said, a lot of the tests I run are kind of superficial. Like I'm really just testing a lot of this stuff. It literally just like a lot of them just test for the text dot example. For each parameter, I need to have the text dot parameter space parameter name. Those kind of all superficial. Not too many actually test the functionality. So this is one of those first ones. I've done this before, but this in-module scope is bugging me. I guess I got frustrated in the past, forgot about it, and I'm already dot sourcing these so that I can access this, which I should not have to do, but it is what it is. So, okay. Well, happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I probably won't stream this weekend because I'm busy. So, yeah, have a good weekend. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Reach out if you need anything, have any questions. Follow me on all the things. Yeah, that's about it. So, thanks. See you guys.